Working now?
Yes.
Do we still have Steve?
No.
No, he's gone.
He's gone. Reports from non-municipal committees and.
We'll do the motions from the committees before we move on.
Oh, okay, we
Okay.
do them now?
Yes.
Moved by Donna, seconded by Dan. Whereas the Planning Advisory Committee recommends to council that consent application B1, 2023, Dominic Perro for the creation of one new lot be deferred at the request of the North Bay Mattawa Conservation Authority pending a site inspection. Be it hereby resolved that council approves of this recommendation and consent application B1, 2023 be deferred pending a site inspection by the North Bay Mattawa Conservation Authority. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor McGinnis, seconded by Councillor Clark. Whereas the Planning Advisory Committee recommends to council that consent application B2, 2023, Heidi and Neil Bowman for a lot addition be approved. Be it hereby resolved that council approves this recommendation along with the conditions and notes as set out on the attached decision of approval authority form. All in favor? Carried. The bottom one?
No.
This one.
Yeah.
Right up
there's-
here.
Yes. Thank you.
Who signs the bottom one? Sabrina? Oh, you do.
I'm signing here.
Yep.
Every member of council in attendance at the meeting when that is passed signs the decision of authority.
Okay.
Thank you.
Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor McGinnis. Whereas the Planning Advisory Committee recommends to council to direct the manager of planning and development to canvass interim solutions to undertake the required review of planning applications that have been affected by the legislative changes in Bill 23, More Homes Built Faster Act 2022, and to report back to the Planning Advisory Committee and Council with recommendations. And whereas in accordance with Bonfield's official plan, the applicant is responsible for providing the minimum distance separation setback calculations when applicable for planning applications. The Planning Advisory Committee also recommends to council to acknowledge that the applicants moving forward be responsible for providing the required minimum distance separation setback calculations when applicable on planning applications. Be it hereby resolved that council accepts these recommendations and directs the manager of planning and development to report back to the Planning Advisory Committee and council with interim solutions for undertaking the review. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor McGinnis, seconded by Councillor Clark. Whereas the Planning Advisory Committee recommends to council at the request of the applicant consent B3, 2022, Descon Construction be deferred. Be it hereby resolved that council accepts this recommendation and consent application B3, 2022 be deferred. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Counselor Clark, seconded by Counselor McGinnis. Whereas the Recreation and Fitness Committee recommends to council to advance the committee $8,900 to be used towards the Canada Day celebration until council has made all deliberations for the 2023 budget. Be it hereby resolved that council approves of this recommendation. All in favor? Carry. Moved by Counselor McGinnis, seconded by Counselor Clark. Whereas the Public Works Committee recommended to council that committee meetings be set for the first Wednesday of every month, be it hereby resolved that council approves of this recommendation. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Counselor Clark, seconded by Counselor McGinnis. Whereas the Public Works Committee recommended to council that the Public Works Manager add the cost to replace the 2007 3-ton GMC truck top kick with winter attachments to the capital budget for consideration. Be it hereby resolved that council approves of this recommendation. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Counselor McGinnis, seconded by Counselor Clark. Whereas the 2022 bridge and culvert study has been presented to the Public Works Committee, and whereas the Public Works Committee recommended to council that the study be implemented into the township's asset management plan, be it hereby resolved that council approves of this recommendation. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Counselor Clark, seconded by Counselor McGinnis. Whereas the Public Works Committee recommended to council that a review of speed limits and road classifications be performed, and that an internal study be conducted with a report provided to council for review. Be it hereby resolved that council approves of this recommendation. All in favor? Moved by Counselor McGinnis, seconded by Counselor Clark. Whereas the Public Works Committee recommended to council that the quote obtained to purchase a commercial grade zero-turn lawnmower for parks and recreations, cemetery and lawn maintenance for township-owned properties be added to the capital budget for consideration. Be it hereby resolved that council approves of this recommendation. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Counselor Clark, seconded by Counselor McGinnis. Whereas the Public Works Committee recommended to council that the Public Works Manager complete an internal study into the operations of the landfill site's recycling program to reduce the amount of recycling that enters as waste. Be it hereby resolved that council approves of this recommendation. All in favor?
It's Anne that's keeping us busy.
I made myself too busy.
Yeah.
Public Works kept us pretty busy then. Moved by Counselor McGinnis, seconded by Counselor Clark. Whereas the Public Works Committee recommended to council that the Public Works Manager investigate the feasibility, cost, and funding opportunities to place a columbarium at the Mount Pleasant Cemetery, and that a report be prepared for council. Be it hereby resolved that council approves of this recommendation. All in favor? Is that it? I didn't think we were going to get through it. Okay, so reports from municipal committees and boards. Phenom, we don't have anything on that. North Bay Mattawa Conservation Authority.
I did not receive their latest minutes, so it's not on this agenda.
Okay, but Steve is the one that attends there, right?
Yes.
And we don't have anything from Castle Home. However, further in, we have a motion, right?
Yes.
And Bonfield Nonprofit Seniors Housing.
Yes, I'm still waiting on a meeting from them.
Oh, okay.
We did have some correspondence this week, but it all got cleared up, but I'm certain we will have a meeting soon.
Notice of motions, none?
None.
Okay, we have introduction and consideration of a bylaw. Moved by Councillor Clark, second by Councillor McGuinness. Whereas council deems it necessary and expedient to pass 3 readings of the following bylaw at this session, be it hereby resolved that a bylaw to appoint Jeffrey Celentano as clerk and treasurer for the Township of Bonfield be read a first, second, and third time, passed in number 2023-05, and that the said bylaw be signed by the mayor and clerk, sealed with the seal of the corporation, and be engrossed in the bylaw book. All in favor?
Acting CAO. I think you missed that word.
Pardon?
Acting CAO. Right?
He's still the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Just making it
Carrie?
clear.
I meant all in favor. I didn't see your hand up.
I knew what you meant.
I was asking you if I could care. The next is disbursement.
Pardon me.
Moved by Councillor McGuinness, seconded by Councillor Clark, that council approve the general accounts for the Township of Bonfield as indicated in the disbursement report dated February 14th, 2023, in the amount of $316,757.40. All in favor? Carried. Next one is correspondence and information. We have a application. Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor McGuinness. Whereas Paul and Brandy Labonte submitted an application for a license to use a portion of the Shore Road allowance located at 126 Sunnyside Road as detailed on the site plan and application. And whereas the manager of planning and development has reviewed this application, deems it to comply with the bylaw 9623, and recommends to council to approve the proposal to license a portion of the Shore Road allowance with a condition that all permits be obtained from the North Bay Mattawa Conservation Authority, Oceans and Fisheries, and the Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry if required, prior to issuing the license. Be it hereby resolved that council approves of this recommendation. All in favor? Carried. Only one place. Next, we have Castle Home. Moved by Councillor McGuinness, seconded by Councillor Clark. Whereas the Township of Bonfield has passed a resolution to support a guarantee and deferral of claims with the Ontario Infrastructure and Lands Corporation to allow the Castle Home redevelopment project to proceed. And whereas all of the member municipalities of Castle Home, with the exception of Bonfield, have passed the above resolution in good faith that the city of North Bay will proceed with a full review of the desirability of making Castle Home a city-owned home. And whereas the Township of Bonfield recognizes provincial legislation that ensures fair and equitable access to long-term care spaces for its residents, regardless of the ownership and location of the home. Therefore, be it resolved that the Township of Bonfield adds its support to the voices of all other member municipalities of Castle Home and looks forward to receiving the full review of the steps necessary to transition Castle Home to a city-owned home as adopted by Resolution 2021-499 of the Council of the City of North Bay. All in favor?
Yeah.
Carried.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Didn't look like it.
Any question?
No, that was an excellent briefing
Yeah.
note.
You have the information?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. We have number one, motion of support, City of Brantford via rail cancellations. Is there anything that,
No, if council would like to support any of those, then they should request that they be brought back to the next council meeting.
okay? On any of these, just, is there any that,
I mean, they don't really affect us, but we certainly, we support them, but they don't affect us, right?
The only ones that would be Bill 23.
Yes,
Um,
yes. Yeah, so
which one is that?
so the.
Bill
build
23.
house- Building the houses faster, yeah, so there's quite a few of them here, right?
Those
And that's the
motions.
one
Yeah.
that's not in favor of that,
That's right,
right?
that's
Yes.
right.
I would fully support that.
Yeah.
And what about that K9 courageous advertising? Is that something the township supported before?
Yes, every year, council would support the K9 Courageous and the National Wall of Remembrance.
Is it something that we could defer, like we can support them anytime, right? Just because we have no budget information, so, you know what I mean?
There is a deadline.
Oh, there is a deadline.
There is a
right?
deadline. The reason why I have no motion of support, usually I have a motion to go with them, but I wasn't sure how this council wanted to proceed with those. So if you want to support them, then I'll bring them back to the next council meeting.
Well, more information is always good, but again, having no
The-
budget information yet, it's hard to know what to
What to do,
support,
yeah.
yeah,
I cannot provide more information than what they send us.
yeah. Do you know what the deadlines are though?
Did it not state in the,
I didn't see it.
I can find out.
If
and-
That's not too much trouble, that would be
Yeah.
great. Okay, thank you.
What did we support? How much did we give them before?
We paid the
$2.95.
advertising.
Just paid the advertising?
It's
Yes, one of
I
the Wall of Remembrance, we actually get,
Oh, I see here on the back.
Yeah. we actually get the memorial book every year. And the K9 is to support,
support animals.
yes.
for war vets.
Yeah, well, you will bring it back on
Yeah,
the next
yeah.
council. Okay. No new business?
Your worship, if I may,
Question of clarification for the benefit of staff, please. There was a discussion on items 10.3, 10.4, 10.5, and I thought I heard a discussion amongst members of council respecting, oh, we should support that. Is there a clear direction from the council to staff on any of those, or are they simply for information purposes? I was not sure
Yes.
what the council wanted here.
So I think we want to support anything that repeals Bill 23.
Yeah.
Yes,
So that is what you're looking for
Yeah.
from staff.
correct.
Okay, thank you for that, your worship and counselors.
And what are we supporting?
That to repeal Bill 23. It's the,
The one you said would support. right
This
here.
one?
Yeah.
And we're bringing 10.5 back as well.
Right.
Yep.
yes. And 10.6,
And 10.6.
correct.
And then we still have 10.7 to deal with.
I believe that was only for information purposes. Manager Green can speak to those if council has any questions.
No, I don't have any
Sorry.
questions.
Okay.
I don't know if you do on the consent forms and the applications.
You're just
Uh,
adding a first information page, correct?
To both, and then the consent form has been updated. The building permit application, that's the standard building code application. Yeah.
The only question that I had, I think it's just a question, that on the first one, it says registered owners and it's got their address. What if they don't live there, but they're dealing with the property? Is it a
The-
different?
Well, that's for mailing purposes and contact
Okay,
information.
okay,
And then you'll see, then there's other spots there then for like the actual property that they're
okay,
dealing with.
okay, thank you, thanks. Yeah, well, that's pretty good. Anything that can make it clearer is lovely.
And new business?
No.
No business. And then we're going to the unfinished business was the security testing. Any comments on
Yeah,
that?
when was this letter received? It doesn't have a date on it, the one from EDCOR. The first one, I don't see a date.
It was received the following day of the last council meeting.
Okay. And is it possible to get a cumulative amount? They say in the letter that we've been with them since 2016, right? So, but we don't have a contract.
No.
No. So can we get the cumulative amount of what we paid to EDCOR? Would that be
It's,
possible?
I believe it's $949.50 quarterly. And that's for all IT support.
So there's different IT things. Maybe I should be asking for an IT report. That might give us more information. So there's a lot of IT things in the disbursements that might be helpful if we could break it down.
So anything to do with our servers,
Yeah, I'd like it in a report, so if that's okay.
I can ask them to provide that. Yes.
Okay. But for all of IT, so the internet,
They don't do internet.
right, so whoever does internet, so again, I'm looking for a breakdown of what we pay for that has to do with IT, anything IT. Is that possible?
I can see if we can approach the different, is that including Bell Canada
Yeah, but it,
and Starlink?
yeah, so I don't
and
want it
emails?
from them, I want it from us, yeah. So just a report with our information on it about what we pay for IT, I guess. That's
Okay.
great, thank you. This was a great sample report of the bit. That was very helpful.
I clicked it. Sorry, Dan, you're gonna get the.
Yeah, I get the blame for it.
We're gonna get the breakdown before we decide on anything on this. I have a concern about this. I have a concern about not having this check. I've read what is here and
I don't have an issue with getting the pen test done. I don't have an issue with that. I think going forward, though, I just would like to see a more structured approach. That's all. But I have no issue with getting the pen test done by EDCOR. They are, and I know they're reputable. It's not that they're not a great company. It's just that for transparency and process, if we could get something going, that's what my concern. That's my concern. But I don't have an issue with if this is the motion to do the pen test, then yes, I'm okay with that. I don't know about you, Dan.
I don't have a problem with that and to have the information, but I just don't like to see this sit here from meeting to meeting and not do something. Once they hack it, it's too late.
Great. So again, we can look to see where we're vulnerable. So that's not a problem. But going forward, I'd like to have a more structured.
And I'm fine with more information, but
So are we still getting the same company that designed this to test themselves?
I think if you
Like-
read their sample report, which what they do is they will hack us, right? So they hack us to see where we are vulnerable, which is great. And then they come back with a report. So
But then they designed this?
not all of it. I don't think they're doing our entire system, right? Not
Yes.
just what they have designed. Yeah. So they're looking for our weak spots in our entire system. So whether they've designed it or not, so they're probably okay with what they've provided, but there's other components of our IT that might be vulnerable. So I don't think it's a bad idea. I think they're a great company. I think what they provided is excellent. If we get their sample report, their penetration report, it would be a good thing. Again, I'm more concerned about the contract management procurement part of
Right.
it. So, quite reasonably, we could be dealing with them. I just want it a little more formalized so that it is more transparent, and that's all.
Your worship, if I may ask, what is the will of council? To approve this, to deny this, to defer it pending the report that Councillor Clark was requesting? I'd appreciate the clarity, please.
Can we do both, though? Can we go ahead with the pen test and as going forward, review the state of our IT and companies? That's basically.
They're going to provide us with a report. And in the report, it will say you need to do this, 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 and
Right,
this.
that's
But
not what I'm
I
asking.
No.
believe Councillor Clark is asking for a report from staff
Mhm.
respecting what we have paid, let's say within the last couple of budget years, for
Correct.
all of our comprehensive IT
Broken
and
down by
telephony.
companies. Exactly.
telephony, yeah.
Telephony, yes.
Okay.
Broken down by.
Thank you for
companies.
that clarification, Your Worship.
Thank
I take it then on behalf of staff that this is to be approved. And the second part is to also be acted upon.
So we can take that. Do we need to write anything on here, or is that?
No, that's specifically only for the pen test.
Okay,
That's it.
yes.
moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor McGuinness, whereas it was recommended by our IT department that a security test of township computer systems be performed and enroll in a monthly pen test solution. And whereas the report would include solutions to prevent future cyber attacks, be it hereby resolved that council approves of this recommendation. All in favor? Carried.
Right, and that report's going to help us form our next purchases if we have to. Yes, okay.
Thank you. And okay, so we have an addendum.
We have an addendum with 2 items. The first one has to do with the loan agreement for the grader. Once that is dealt with, council will be going into a closed session, and at that time, all recordings will cease, and CAO Celentano will take over, and that'll be it.
So we'll do the confirmatory bylaw before
After.
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 Before we adjourn, Your Worship,
Okay,
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So I believe the first item on the addendum, you have a report that was provided by Manager Carr.
Mhm.
I put it on everyone's seat in case you didn't get it by
I
email.
got three.
Okay.
Well, this Jason.
So there's the discussion for the warranty for the motor grader.
Yeah,
I thought I'd bring that to council before we engage in our loan agreement with TD. So council could either decide whether A, not to purchase it, B, purchase it, put it into the loan agreement with the TD, or put it into the operational budget.
so this was not part of the tender.
It was part of the tender.
Okay, so this,
But how come it wasn't on what we agreed upon at the last council meeting?
Well, because we just got all of our per forma, which is a
yeah,
pre-invoice.
performance, yeah.
So, and the warranty was indicated there, and then it was kind of like, we should bring that to council before we
But
engage in that.
isn't warranty like extra, so it'd be done by resolution when you purchase this?
When we did purchase the grader 13 months ago,
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
it's, yeah. I
right,
mean,
but now we're at a new council and
Still should have been done by resolution. I
And
mean,
if it had, if there was a tender, would this, so the other bidders would have included their warranty?
Yes,
How
they
do we
did.
know now this is the lowest?
I also included the other tender bid, actually. We only received 2 tenders.
I don't know, it just coming in at the last minute like this, I mean,
That's my fault.
I am not,
Yeah, I'm finding it difficult to make a decision on putting it on the tax base or, and again, not having any budget information for 2023.
I mean, I agree with the warranty.
Oh, yeah,
I
we
just
have to
don't
have a warranty.
agree with coming in at the ninth hour on it like this.
What do you think, Mary? Madam Mayor?
So it is my problem that it wasn't brought to you beforehand. So when the performer came in, it's like, the warranty. So however, I'm not making decisions outside of this council. And
Well,
unfortunately, here we are. It's
Mhm.
coming next Friday.
Well, maybe we should have had that information earlier, but I think it's very important information to know now, because if we purchase a $500,000 grader without that warranty, and
No, yeah, we have to have it. So the
Yeah,
decision
yeah.
is whether we finance it or we put it on
Yeah.
in the operating budget.
I know, but I mean, going forward in the future, there's been a couple things that have gone, over budget on things and it's last minute, like, here's a $40,000 bill.
It's not over budget
Yeah.
yet, though, is it?
Well, sure wasn't in what we agreed upon.
No.
However, I am bringing it to council. You don't have to make a decision this evening.
But it
You
is
can
time
make a
sensitive,
decision
right?
and-
Friday, did you say?
Well, we don't have a loan agreement here yet either.
But the loan agreement is going to go up, right? The interest rate is
If
going
you
to
put it
go
into
up
the
if
loan,
we
yes,
put
it
it
will.
into the loan. So that's the other thing, right?
Right. I mean,
And you told us how much it was gonna cost, the difference between the interest rate.
yeah,
Amount,
4.8
yeah,
to
yeah.
5.1.
Yeah. But what was the monthly? You did the monthly too, right?
Yes, I did.
Thought I saw that, yeah. Okay.
Your worship and counselors, if I may, admittedly, there's been a hiccup or two about how we got the full picture with respect to this complex capital purchase. However, the information is before you. Your staff recommends that there are a variety of good reasons to proceed with this purchase of the extended warranty and its associated financial impacts. And we leave it up to you. And the other comments about full picture at the right time when you make your decision have been noted and will be discussed with staff. So I would hope that for the purposes of this evening, you can decide on to approve or not to approve and where you want the money to be charged to. Please.
Is there a resolution?
There's one for either
So, hang on.
decision.
What's the monetary difference monthly from what you originally gave us to now? So now we would be paying 5,066. What was
Right,
the
so
old?
fairly, I can't give you a good picture from what I did portray to you
Yeah.
with the interest rate, because now the interest rate has risen 0.21%.
Right, no, but
Plus a difference of the 40 some $1,000 with the added loan.
right. And so the other thing is now there's just three of us making this decision, right? Which I know we have quorum, but we don't have the benefit of our other two colleagues.
Well, we do have quorum,
Yep.
and the grader was purchased a year ago.
So
So
I personally would think that we finance it. I
So
would
do I.
not want to see this.
I don't want it on the taxes.
Especially not knowing, right? So we're deferring the payment over several years, which I think would be our, the best thing for our ratepayers.
I mean, this year's gonna be tough enough,
Yeah,
I mean-
I agree.
so.
and that's to defer the payment.
No,
No,
put
to,
put
to
it on the
finance
loan.
it, yeah, to
Finance it.
Yeah,
Finance
that's,
it,
oh,
yeah,
that's what I meant,
yeah,
to
yeah.
go on the loan, yeah.
Yeah, that would be what I would vote for.
I can't second
No,
it. And move it and sign it. Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor McGuinness, whereas the Public Works Manager recommends to council that a 6-year full warranty be purchased for the 2023 CAT motor grader for the cost of $37,930 plus HST, and that the warranty be added to the debenture with the TD Commercial Banking, and that resolution number 10 of the regular meeting of council held January 24th be amended by replacing 433, 497, 60 minus HST rebates to 475, 605, 89 in total, and amended from 4.89 to 5.10. Be it hereby resolved that council approves of this recommendation. All in favor? Carried. Do we get the whole HST rebate back?
We get a percentage.
Yeah, percentage.
Yes.
We got all the PST back and 78% of the HST.
so I also see in here, who's supposed to be signing for this? Like at the loan part? of it?
Well, I was supposed to be signing for it, and I still
And-
haven't
And
had an
Councillor
appointment to
Corbett.
sign it.
I was just wondering, it wasn't clear in here. It
The
just-
loan agreement will be signed by
The mayor. and
the
deputy
mayor. and the deputy mayor.
Okay.
Yes.
And I think Jason went in last week, eh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. At this present time, council will move into a closed session. CAO Salentano will take over the meeting due to labor relations being discussed. So I will close off the recording and say goodnight to everybody.